Sunflowers by Keezy Young was published a few months ago by Silver Sprocket Press. This book deals with Keezy's real life experiences as someone who's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And I thought the premise of the book, when I saw it solicited, was really interesting because it's hard enough to create any type of creative work, painting, comics, a novel, when you don't have a diagnosed medical condition. But I just thought the difficulty of doing that and being able to portray the experience in a way that's relatable to people that don't have said condition, thought was interesting to see how that was done. And so I picked this up and just wanted to talk about it for a moment. The comic starts off where she is talking about her experiences and how this starts, where you go into this phase called hypomania, where everything is really wonderful and great, and you feel this energy and this positivity, but then eventually how it will go into mania. Hypomania is a lesser form of mania. And then mania is like when it gets too much. And I think some of these visuals, like seeing her with her head in her hands and all these flames going around, kind of indicating what they're seeing, and the use of these eyes. And like at first, hypomania, then you see these beautiful butterfly and this lovely choice of colors. And then eventually she talks about the crash down. And then you see how it starts fading to black. And then she does this really interesting choice where there's 4 pages of just black, just to kind of emphasize that she's come off the high of the mania and she's like at rock bottom. And then she talks about the after effects of how do you feel after going through that period of mania and the struggles that she has and a lot of her history. And the writing is really good because it really does a wonderful job of explaining what it feels like, but it's easy to read. It's not too it's not too technical, but it's not too non-technical. I think it's very relatable to anybody who's interested. These visuals and the choices she makes are great. And then this is the part where she's like coming out of that depression and getting back to a more balanced state. And even here, she talks about why she did the book. And it's a wonderful comic. I mean, it just does an amazing job of explaining that experience to someone who, like myself, who has no firsthand experience with this or has had anybody close to them who's been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So I think it's worth it to check this book out. I know Silver Sprocket carries it online. I think they have it in the store still. You can get this at your comic shop. This was solicited through previews. I just think it's a really amazing book that really openly and honestly talks about the experience of having bipolar disorder by someone who has it and someone who can convey it through words and through pictures, the experience. That's really it. This is just one of my favorite comics of this year. And I think it's going to stay one of my favorite comics of this year. Hope you enjoyed if you find it. And thanks.